This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Stephen Ward over Zoom. Stephen, how are you doing?
All good, mate. All good, Andy. How's things with you?
I'm getting by, mate. Everything's kind of coming together now. Hopefully, we're approaching the end of what's been a tough, difficult time for everybody. While since we last spoke, how have you been keeping?
I dead on, mate. Dead on. I got sick there for a wee while back there, so I was off training for a bit. I had a few things going on, which is why I had to pull out of the last fight. First fight I ever pulled out of. But I wasn't well for a while, but all good now.
That's good to hear, mate. Just going back to that, obviously you mentioned having to pull out. What was that like, having to pull out for the first fight for yourself?
Shit, it was crap, mate, because um it was a good opportunity. You know, Kukabayev is a great fighter. Everyone knows him. Especially people that have came through the amateur ranks. Very, very good fighter. It was a good opportunity. I thought it might have been a great time to meet him. He hadn't been the distance in a lot of, 10 rounds. Yeah, I thought it was going to be great, but I had a few things going on at home with family and stuff. And I think for the first time in my life, I had to put family before boxing.
How, you're just mentioning that there, you had to put your family before boxing, and certainly one thing which a lot of people don't quite know is the sacrifices that boxers make. Yeah, it's spoken about by boxers, but it's different when you're actually having to do it. In your case, you're having to do it. Carl used to have to do it all the time, leaving behind his family. Um, what is that like, trying to juggle, finding a happy balance effectively of keeping your family happy and then obviously trying to focus on your career?
I think for me, like, I think it's to the person you're with, like my wife, Kathy. I think a lot of it's down to her. You know, she runs a roost and I'm away, and she organizes everything and lets me go and train and do my thing. But it's hard, like when it's hard, when Frampton touched on it. It's like when you're like I've missed all my kids. Like he had first days at school and weddings. The wife has to go to like even some of my family weddings. My wife goes around with the kids because I'm not here in the country, and you miss a lot of things. But it's only just about working as a team, I think, and having good people around you. It's hard, like it'll never be easier, but hopefully it pays. It's not about being easier, it's just about it paying off.
So, Stephen, hoping for that to pay off, talk to me about what's next then. What is the next opportunity for yourself?
Just waiting to hear, mate. Obviously with MTK behind me, they're always giving me the best opportunities. We're throwing a name and a hat, I'd love, to go to WBO route or British route, British title or something, anything. So we're waiting to hear. I'm just tipping away in the gym, just waiting for a phone call and get something confirmed. But I think it's gonna be a good year for me.
Stephen, domestically, there are a number of fights that could be made at cruiserweight. There's some brilliant bouts out there. You've got Chris Billam-Smith, who was due to face Dion Juma for that British title. You've got Richard Riakporhe, obviously Lawrence Okoli, now world champion. Tommy McCarthy, somebody you know well, who's a European champion. Is there anybody who you look at and you think that's the fight which maybe gets you licking your lips the most, gets you interested the most?
I think anything that gets me licking my lips is a fighter that's above me in the rankings, to be honest. I don't think Okoli's different. He's awkward and he seems to have changed well. He seems to have adapted his style and it seems to suit him. But for the other fighters up there, I haven't watched them and thought, oh, I wouldn't want to meet him. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't watched them and thought, oh, I wouldn't like to meet them. I know like Big Tommy, me and Big Tommy are friends and we do a bit of sparring together. He's as I've said before and to reiterate, he's a couple of rungs above me at the minute. He has the EBU title. He's looking at world honors very, very soon, I'm sure. So I can't see that happening. But there's definitely a couple of fighters there that you wouldn't be feared of meeting. Do you know what I mean? And there'd be a lot to gain from meeting them. So yeah, it's good. It's exciting. It's exciting for me, especially if I've only had one fight at cruiserweight. Well, I'm genuinely not feared. I'm not worried or scared of getting in with someone else that's a fully flat. Well, has been around the cruiserweight scene for a while.
So obviously you mentioned there, Lawrence Okoli, you spoke about Tommy McCarthy. On the other two who didn't quite touch on was Chris Billam-Smith, Richard Riakporhe. We also got somebody like Sam Hyde, who he hasn't fought for a while. Out of those guys, would any of them interest you?
I think all of them would. I think all of them would, as I say, as long as they're above me in the rankings. Chris Billam-Smith, yeah, I thought I thought he was alright. His last performance, I didn't think he was exceptional, and that's just that's just me being honest. I didn't think there's anything that would blow you away watching it and worry about. Um, Jay, you've got Sam Hyde. I haven't heard of him. You got Jack Massey as well. He's there. You've got Riakpo. Yeah, they're all good fights, mate. Like, call me a quiet man for a reason. I don't go about calling people out, but no, look, I would definitely be open to most things, if not all.
Stephen, it's interesting you say that there. Obviously, you called the quiet man for a reason. I don't think I've ever done an interview with you where you have started calling people out. But different fighters take different tactics. For yourself, is that something you have considered maybe changing at all if you wanted to get specific fights?
No, no, because I think you should always be true to yourself and the type of person you are, and it's just not me, mate. It's not me, as in reference. Styles make fights, like everyone says, and slobbering and all before and all this carry on builds up a bit of hype. It doesn't mean it's going to be a good fight. It's about making. It's like me and the Liam Conroy fight. It just gelled into a good fight. We didn't slobber about each other before. So I'm just not that way inclined, mate. And if I do have someone I want to fight, no disrespect to any border, but I'm not going to say it to someone else. I'm going to say it to my management. I'm going to phone my manager and say, or my coach and say, look, I wouldn't mind meeting this fella. What do you think? And then they say yes or no, and we get the ball rolling there. Like,
Stephen, just moving away from yourself, I want to go back to last weekend. As we mentioned him earlier, Carl Frampton, somebody who I know is a good friend of yours. You live close together over in Northern Ireland. Unfortunately, he was unable to become that freeweight world champion that he aimed to be, succumbing to defeat to Jamal Herring. Going back over it, Stephen, how would you assess that fight?
I thought big size difference, and Herring looked good. He looked sharp. You could definitely see where he's benefited from sparring he's been doing. He was sparring Crawford, wasn't he? And you can see how that's brought him on, and he's developed from that. However, you could see at times when Frampton was close enough to him, you could see at times when Frampton was putting the pressure on. You could see how in the later rounds, with Herring being so big at the weight, he could potentially crumble inside. I thought there was wee pockets at times when Frampton was putting the pressure on him and he wasn't doing too much, and you could see how he could potentially break him down later rounds. But it's boxing. Frampton he got caught. Herring was a big lad. He's a big lad. And he got hurt. And yeah, it's what can you do?
I mean, have you spoken to Carl since? And if so, how is he doing?
I was hooked him. He messaged me earlier on asking me to put a few horsey bets on for him. So, but I listen. He's 100%. He's dead on. It's like he's a special man. He's a good man. And I miss him. Like, I think everyone will miss him in the sport. I miss him as well. The banter and camp and stuff. But it's like everyone keeps saying to me, you hear it all the time over here. Oh, is he the next Carl Frampton? Is he the next Carl? Pointing out fighters. There'll never be another Carl Frampton. That's the way of it. There'll never be. I don't think there'll ever be another Carl Frampton where people will take him the way they do. People will rally behind him, and people will unite behind him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's ever going to be another Carl Frampton, and he'll be missed. I'll have to get someone else to burn me with hot teaspoons.
I mean, was that one thing that kind of you just mentioned that there? Is that one thing that you was maybe a little gutted about not being able to get out there to not just support Carl, but to kind of just being in and around that experience? Because I know whenever Carl's been in camp previously, you've been out in Vegas with him, you've been all everywhere with him. Is that something that you felt you missed out on, just kind of being there as another support route, effectively?
I missed being with the lads. I missed the crack. I missed the banter, and you sort of, and the fight doesn't seem as not as real, but as in the moment. Do you know what I mean? And he knew Frampton knew I wasn't going out. Obviously, I wasn't too well at the time, and Frampton knew I wasn't going out. And I talked to him, and I went down and seen him before he went out. But it has no effect on him or the team. They know what they're going out to do. But I missed it. I missed being there. I missed obviously with him announcing retirement. But as I say, there was more important things that matter that were closer to my heart, and I was glad that I can go.
Just a final thing, Stephen, on that. We saw, obviously, as we know, Jamal Herring successful on the night. Just kind of your thoughts on Jamal at super featherweight is a huge man, as you know, at that weight. What did you make of it in terms of the size difference? And Jamal, since then, saying he wants to face Oscar Valdez, somebody I know Carl had
Uh,
previously spoke about.
I it's it interests me. Like I'd want to see that one, to be honest. I thought he looked good. I thought Herring looked good. I thought he was very comfortable in there, and I was impressed. Probably, and he was sharp. He was very very sharp, and he was sharp shooting. Some of the shots and stuff he was picking were lovely. Like the first time when Frank gets put down. It was just a well placed, well timed shot as Fran was going. Obviously, it did impact the Fran going forward and the straight hand. But yeah, I think you give anyone hassle. Not. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because I was impressed. So it might be more to come of him yet. And he's doing well for 35, isn't he?
Yeah. Right, Stephen, we will leave it there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. But I'm going to leave a final word to yourself as you gear up to return to the ring. What would you like to say to all of your fans, your followers, and whoever will continue to follow your journey?
Hopefully keep following. I hope to be and I plan to be in some great fights very, very soon. And I'll make sure to not be as boring as I usually am.
Stephen, it's a pleasure to catch up with you as always. Look after yourself, and I will speak to you again soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much, mate. Take it easy, bud.